Welcome back to the program. This is the big story right here on KTN News on the day. The Kenya Power Managing Director Ken Taruse's predecessor Ben Chumo and 9 other senior managers will have to spend another night in police custody as they wait for a ruling on their bail application. Let's now listen into Energy Cabinet Secretary Charles Keter naming the new acting top management of Kenya Power Company.
Peter Waweru Njenga will now move to acting general manager, where Benson Mureithi was, and street lighting. We have Joseph, these are all engineers I'm mentioning, I didn't mention. Engineer Joseph Katuru will now move to acting general manager, connectivity. Joyce Awinja Ocheng will now act as a general manager, supply chain. Agri Chesambuli Machasio, acting manager, customer services and regional coordination. David Maniki, acting general manager, infrastructure, network management. Dr. Jeremiah Kiptanui Kiblangat will continue being the director of Kenya Power International on a substantive, that is where he was. Charles Kimngeno Cheruyot, general manager, internal audit, substantive, that is where he has been, and he will continue holding that position. Titus Makau Kitavi will move to acting general manager, ICT. David Manandi or Manandi? Is it Manandi? Is that right? Is there A really? Munandi. No A. Is there A? Munandi. Munandi. Acting General Manager, Human Resource and Administration. Imelda Bore will act acting General Manager, Corporate Affairs and Company Secretary. Engineer Takichu George Kiru will move to acting General Manager, Business Strategy. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry. Ambrose Lemaon, acting General Manager, Finance. Thank you. That is my list. Huh? CEO. The person. I thought I'm done with it. The person who will now coordinate all of them within the 3 months is Engineer Jared Omondi Otieno.
Well, that is Energy Cabinet Secretary Charles Keter earlier on today, naming the top management of Kenya Power Company who are not going to serve on an acting capacity. He also lamented the manner in which those, suspected to have involved in graft were arrested. He also compared to what has happened at Steamer Plaza to what happened to the Zambian football team. Very interesting comment there coming out from the Energy Cabinet Secretary. Now in studio, I still have Patrick Mayo from the Kenya Institute of Supply Management. Now, Patrick, I really appreciate the way you've taken us through the procurement process in government, what needs to be done, and perhaps where various procurement agencies or departments have slept on the job. Now, talk us through about the role of the public procurement oversight authority, because there are those who believe that this is another authority that has failed in its objective because they're the ones who are supposed to raise, the red flag in this kind of a situation.
The Public Procurement Oversight Authority, which has changed its name to Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, is like the police in the procurement system. But they are the police with very limited capacity in a variety of ways. One, somebody can commit a crime in his house, and you may not blame the police in the police station or patrolling the streets for not having prevented that particular crime to occur. So similarly, if particular irregularities are taking place within a procuring entity, and the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority do not have the information that such kind of irregularities is taking place, then they may not be in a position to act.
So Patrick, what is their clear role? Because, you know, we're seeing that their main role is to maintain oversight. What is this oversight if they don't have the powers you're talking about?
They have the powers. Yes, they have the powers to intervene.
Yes.
But I'm saying that when certain things are happening within a procuring entity and they don't have the information that an irregularity is taking place, then of course they may not be able to know. But if somebody had complained to them and they failed to take action, then that would be a serious failure on their part. But we also have got to look at the capacity in terms of, for example, the number of personnel. For them even to go and review the procurement processes in all the public procurement entities within the country, that is something that will take them not less than 3 years because they do not have adequate personnel. Then, of course, this is a body that has been operating for some times without a board. And if you're operating without a board, then, of course, that one also has got its own challenges. I think the issue is this, that right now the issue has been made public.
Yes.
Now that it has been made public and they are aware, we can then watch them and see what else they can be able to do. Yeah.
Yes, Patrick, KPLC aside, but we've not seen, you know, this body coming out openly and talk about, you know, graft. Don't you believe they're a bit, you know, not very much, you know, effective?
Well, we do believe that there is a graft. Sometimes we get these research organizations reporting issues of graft. But before you can go and challenge a particular person that you are corrupt, you should be having some evidence. Without that evidence, there may be a challenge.
Yes.
But they have also done their bit. They have prepared a lot of reports, which they have shared with the relevant authorities. They may not have publicized them. They may not have captured each and every irregularity or a big proportion of it, but they have played their role because that's not the only thing they do. They would also do other things. Yes.
Well said, Patrick. And once again, let me just tell our viewers that you've really, you know, helped us in understanding matters procurement and where the loopholes are, especially in government. At the moment, all heads of procurement and, you know, accounting units have been ordered to step aside. I'm sure you're aware of that. Yeah. And some of them are, you know, being interviewed. They are being interrogated by, you know, especially the DCI at the moment. Do you think this kind of a move might bring sanity back to these, you know, these departments?
Well, there's something we call a culture. If everybody thinks that corruption is a way of life, and if you are not corrupt, then probably there's something wrong with you, then something like what is happening may be seen to be positive. Anything that can be used to fight corruption is positive, and as an institute, we fully support the government in its fight against corruption, and we have contacted the relevant government organs. The institute is ready to assist them, even in technical aspects. However, it is also important that whichever process you put, you should ensure that it is done in a timely manner so that you don't make the innocent people suffer. Out of all those, I believe that there could be some people who are innocent. And I hope that the way in which it is being done is effective, and the innocent ones will soon be told that they are innocent so that they can feel relieved, because it can also be stressful.
Yes, Patrick, hold on to that thought. Let me just play another soundbite here by the CS Energy. Even as the board of Kenya Power replaces staff who have been implicated in the transformer scandal, the Energy CS has decried what he calls inhumane treatment of corruption suspects by the prosecuting agencies. Let's listen into what he had to say.
No, I'm still a politician in one way or another, having been there for a long time. I will call upon my colleagues also. Let's be humane in even arresting people. I mean, we are not, this is our country, we are not running away. If you want Charles Keter, you call me and say, here he is, I'll go and over myself. Take me to where you want to take me, so long as you don't kill me. But when you go to somebody's house at midnight on a Friday, I'm just calling upon them that the fight against corruption, let's be humane, even in the way we are implementing about that. When you make arrest at night, even a phone call, anybody who has disappeared, that can be followed.
That is the Energy Cabinet Secretary Charles Keter there lamenting at the manner in which some of the suspects there were arrested. Now, Patrick, I understand this is out of your line, but as a Kenyan, I mean, do you have a problem with the manner in which these suspects were arrested? Because, you know, the allegations are very grave. You know, 4.5 billion Kenyan shillings is not a small amount.
The allegations are very grave.
Mm-hmm.
Our legal system tells us that you are innocent until proven guilty. The constitution we are having currently that replaced the other constitution, I think, tried to bring humanness that the cabinet secretary is referring to. In my opinion, even culprits can still be treated in a humane manner. There is no need of treating somebody in a manner that makes them lose their personal dignity. I think the dignity of a human being should be maintained.
Yes, Patrick, now as we conclude, perhaps can you, of course you've seen the development they have told you earlier that some of the heads of procurement officers, are being, subjected to the so-called polygraph test. They're being interrogated. From your experience in matters of procurement, do you think there's an alternative way of, dealing with corruption in these departments?
I think that it is very easy to document procurement irregularities. And probably without necessarily going into details,
yes.
This is why, as the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management, we have offered to assist the investigating and the prosecuting agencies in this manner. It is very easy, if you follow the law, to detect and document an irregularity. And if you then follow that, then you can then be able to prosecute those ones who are found to have done something wrong. And then those ones who are innocent should not be subjected to go through a long process. They may be everybody may be subjected to go through some process, but it should not be so much prolonged that you also make the innocent suffer, because that one has got one problem. If you make everybody suffer, the guilty plus the innocent, then next time people will say whether you are good or bad, you will be treated the same. So
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Patrick, for your input. Of course, this is a country that loses 600 billion Kenyan shillings every year through corruption. And of course, the government is doing everything to make sure that this stops. Many thanks for your input. Patrick Patrick Mayo is from the Kenya Institute of Supply Management. Unfortunately, we couldn't get hold of the two lawyers as I've earlier promised. But many thanks for watching. My name is Yusuf Ibrahim. Of course, you'll be watching The Big Story right here on KTN News on a day. Kenya Power Managing Director Ken Terus, his predecessor Ben Chumo, who ironically has been nominated to be the next SRC actually chair, and 9 others, senior managers, will have to spend yet another night behind bars. Many thanks for watching. Of course, you'll be watching The Big Story. Up next is KTN Prime. Stay tuned. Bye-bye for now.